This is a tutorial on subtracting fractions with unlike denominators and regrouping. So sometimes when you're subtracting fractions, you need a fraction in the first number and you don't have one. So here is an example of a whole number minus a mixed number. So we will borrow from the 4. We'll turn that into a 3. Now we just took a 1 out of the 4. And we're going to turn that into a fraction. Now remember, any number over itself equals 1 whole, so we can make it any number we want. So we might as well make it 5 over 5. That way we have our denominators are the same. So now we have 3 and 5/5, which is the same as 4, minus 1 and 4/5. And so now we can subtract our whole numbers first. 3 minus 1 is 2, and then subtract our fractions. 5 minus 4 is 1. Our denominator stays the same. So what we did there is we borrowed from the 4, we took out 1, we changed it into a fraction, and we can make it any number over itself that we want to. Since the other number had a denominator of 5, we'll make that one 5/5 so that we don't have to find a common denominator. We already have a common denominator. Now sometimes you'll have two mixed numbers, and maybe you don't know if you have to borrow or not. So first thing that you should do is just start off like you normally would a subtraction problem by finding a common denominator. So we're going to rewrite it, getting it ready. So we want to find a common denominator of 3 and 5. So we'll do 15. We find our new numerators. So we get 5, and then in the second one we get 12. Now we can see we can't go 5 minus 12, so now we have to borrow. So we will borrow from the 2, make that a 1, and then we're going to take the 1 out of this and we'll turn it into 15 over 15 because that's 1. So here's 1 and 1 is 2. So we make it 15 over 15 because then it's easy to put in to this other fraction. And so 15 plus 5 is 20. Our denominator stays the same. And then we have 1. And a shortcut is that you can borrow the 1 from the whole number and then add the denominator to the numerator, and that's your new numerator. So it's 15 plus 5 is 20, and then your denominator stays the same. That's because you're adding 15 over 15 to it. Your second number stays just as it is. All right, and now you can do the subtraction. 1 minus 1 is 0, so no whole number. 20 minus 12 is 8 over 15, and we cannot simplify it. So there's our answer for that one. Okay, let's do another one. And if you'd like to pause and try this, that wouldn't be a bad idea. All right, so first we find our common denominator to see if we even have to borrow. Let me write that different there. 5 minus 2 and our fraction. Okay, common denominator of 4 and 3 is 12. Finding our new numerator. All right, okay, so now we have 5 and 3/12 minus 2 and 8/12. We can't go 3 minus 8, so we have to borrow. So we make this a 4, and we take 1 out of it. We turn that, so we just took 1, so it's 4 and 1 is 5. We took the 1 out of it, and we're going to put the 1 in here in the form of 12 over 12, because 12 over 12 is 1. Or we can think 12 plus 3 is 15. Okay, so we have 4 and 15 over 12 minus 2 and 8 over 12. Okay, so then we will subtract our whole numbers. 4 minus 2 is 2. 15 minus 8 is 7. Our denominator stays the same, and we cannot simplify 7 over 12, so our answer is 2 and 7/12. So that is a quick tutorial on how to subtract fractions with unlike denominators using regrouping.